a permanent home and healing exhaustion. September 15, 2014. Everything you experience is necessary for your growth and development, and in order to thrive on Earth, it's essential to flow with the things that present themselves to you. You're on the Earth to create a wealth of divinely inspired change, but your ability to do this will be muddied if you resist the flow of life experience, a flow that'll ultimately lead you back into the higher realms. Even though we've given this advice a lot, going with the flow is the absolute best thing you can do for yourselves, because the ego-driven tension that results when you resist this flow holds you back more than many of you think. We'll always recommend going with the flow, and we'll also recommend being open to anything and everything Spirit offers you throughout your daily existence. Realizing that your reality is innately spiritual, that it isn't necessarily a concrete reality that Spirit can't be found from within, will help you in your search for the higher vibration you once joyously existed in before you made your way to the Earth. Creativity helps with spiritual emotional depletion. When you realize that the higher vibration you seek lives within, it'll be much easier to find, and you'll cease resisting the natural flow that'll lead you to it. Your creative abilities are becoming as pure as your willingness to contribute to your ongoing conscious revolution, and we encourage you to embrace them, especially when you feel spiritually or emotionally depleted. Your abilities will help you feel better when your soul seems to reach down to low depths that are difficult to climb out of, and if your vibration dips for a sustained period of time, we recommend immersing yourselves in your creative works, and enjoying the upliftment that results. Of course, we don't recommend attempting to suppress negativity or anything else that presents itself to you, but we do recommend going out of your way not to let anything you perceive as negative bring you down. With all of the important things you're on the Earth to do, it'd be silly to continue to let negativity keep you in a lower state of consciousness that we note can seem impossible to climb out of. Source is here for each of you, and the love our Creator has for all of his or her creation is stronger than we can express through any channel. The love we speak of is the very energy that's been used to create your reality and the realities of the higher realms you're growing back toward, and Source constantly funnels his/her omnipotent love out to create various universes, galaxies, etc. Source also sends out this love to reach the minds and hearts of the awakened and unawakened humanity, in hopes that it'll help you along your difficult journey out of the physical matter you descended into. Source waits for each of you to find and act on this flowing inner love once again, and you can embrace it if you feel particularly inspired. Not only can you embrace our infinite and all-loving Creator, you can embrace yourselves as the creators of everything you experience. Realizing that you've created the situations and circumstances many of you are in, will help you reverse any damage that's been done, and with this said, we'll answer our first question. Question number 1. Uprooted. 3 years ago I received the call to move away from the city where I lived for 30 years. I listened to the call and have not one regret. I found out at the time that it had to do with ascension. I had never heard of that word until then. Anyways, during these past 3 years, I have been very unsettled with accommodation. I always seem to find the perfect place and somehow it seems to get disrupted, and I need to move on. Have moved 4 times in the past 3 years, whereas in the past, I was in one home for 30 years. I think I am in a good home now, but once again there is a slight disruption. What is this all about, as I really don't want to keep moving? You were indeed uprooted from your comfortable residence as an aspect of your ongoing ascension, and your moves affected the collective consciousness more than you might think. Everything each individual does or goes through affects your collective as a whole, and we'll say that you were indeed intended to move out of your city and find a more peaceful place to enjoy the remainder of your ascension process. In order for you to understand why you seem to continue to be uprooted, we should explain that the process of changing a situation that's been routine for a very long time can be tricky, both physically and spiritually. Most of the conscious public doesn't understand that when it comes to any physical change, loads of spiritual work is done on the other side. Any bold physical transformation requires a lot of effort and spirit, and you've subconsciously worked very hard to secure a location that you won't have to depart. While we can't predict whether or not your moving trials will end with your current new home, we can say that you're being uprooted so much because your energy field is in a constant state of shifting and transformation. This is being reflected by your continuous moving, and even though we know it's tiring and strenuous, we encourage you to continue to embrace any lifestyle change you face. After having been used to your former settings for so long, a lot has and will continue to need done before you can be comfortable enough in a new location to do the job you're on the earth to do, which is primarily to hold and spread the good vibration you're starting to feel. From a secure location, you'll be able to radiate a wealth of pure vibrations for the rest of humanity to feel and benefit from, and while we know it can be difficult to continue to change locations, it's all for the greater good, and you'll find in the end that your ability and willingness to radiate the love energy you're feeling within grew enormously. You wouldn't have been able to play the role you're destined to play had you stayed at your original location, and the new, permanent location you'll eventually find, which may or may not be your current residence, depending on a few different circumstances, will prove the most suitable for your work. We encourage you to hold and radiate as much pure love as you feel you can, for this might lead you to your permanent destination quicker. The sooner you act on your flowing abilities to send love to the rest of humanity daily, the sooner you'll find the security you seek in regards to your living arrangements. Earth isn't your true home. A message is also being communicated to you, and it's that the Earth isn't your true home. We know that you already know this, but it's being displayed to you very clearly and directly with each new home you find and subsequently leave. Your real home is in the higher realms, but after so much time has passed, you'll find that the higher realms are anchored on Earth and you can comfortably exist there without feeling like you're away from your true home, which you currently are in a sense. This is in part why we recommend anchoring and spreading as much loving energy as you can. It'll help you feel closer to the higher realms, and by the natural law of manifestation, it'll lead you to the earthly home you can settle and do your work in. When you find yourself moving out of homes continuously, keep in mind that they were never really your true home, and again, the Earth isn't either. Gaia loves and cares for her dearest children, but waves of light workers and starseeds have come to her surface from higher dimensional planets and civilizations they were much more comfortable in, as in your case. You were once a part of a great and prosperous higher vibrational civilization that still prospers just as much as they did when you were with them, and you'll eventually return to this place when you're back in the higher realms, and you've enjoyed your higher vibrational earthly experience enough to branch out and see what other planets and galaxies have to offer. You aren't alone in this, and there are waves of seekers who seem to have difficulty securing a permanent living space. The general message that the Earth isn't your true home is being conveyed to every seeker who experiences this, but we don't want to generalize your experiences because everyone's path is unique. We'll encourage you to simply go with the flow, as we encouraged at the beginning of this message, because you'll only meet with difficulty and unhappiness if you resist. You'll eventually be led to a home that's right for you, and until then, we wholeheartedly encourage you to cozy up to the light work you're on the earth to do. Now, we'll move on to our next question. Question number 2. Beam me up, heal my exhaustion. I know the value of healing myself, and I am doing everything I can. I have kids and I don't want to waste time being tired around my beloveds. Can't they please beam me up and fix these nanoviruses or whatever is happening, and beam me back? Please. Or if they want to use my spare bedroom for a health clinic to observe any dimensional laws that I don't understand, I will share my spare bedroom for this purpose. This is a complex subject, because your ailments related to things you did and experienced in past lives that you're now clearing karma from. Before we say any more on this subject, we should point out that every seeker, even the most lighted ones and the ones who are filled the most with spirit in their current life, has played some of the darkest roles that could be played on the earth. Even those who speak out against the cabal for the things they're doing in your day and age have committed their own heinous acts in the past, and it was all necessary for your descent into the lower vibrations and your resulting ability to uplift humanity once you became aware of spirit. Dearest reader, you took on the lower vibrations with multitudes of lives, some of which you were rooted in darkness and others in the light, and the things you're experiencing, however exhausting, are aspects of your karmic cleansing and your physical ascension process. Karmic cleansing isn't the only reason you're experiencing the things you are, you're also taking on a lot of collective karmic density in an effort to uplift humanity. Waves of seekers, and even people who don't consider themselves aware of spirit, are taking on and transmuting the bulk of negative energy that continues to be fed in your collective consciousness, and this can result in discomfort, tiredness, and even physical pain. This is partially what you've decided to do, dearest reader, because you recognized before you came to the earth for your current life that it was among the best ways to heal your own karma and that of the unawakened humanity. Just like our first reader, the things you're experiencing, which we know can be difficult and we seek to offer all of the compassion we can, are ultimately necessary for your growth and development. We're happy to report that you've made a lot of progress, and you'll continue to shed karma that was accumulated in past lives with each difficult and taxing day you experience. We know this isn't easy, and we want you to know that you aren't alone in this mission. Plenty of other souls are taking on the same quest as you, and you're given the love and assistance of your higher self, your guides, and every higher dimensional soul who looks upon the trials you're experiencing with love in our hearts and the wish for you to see just how much good you're doing, on earth and in the realms beyond your conscious perception. You and every other seeker who subconsciously made it their mission to transmute the bulk of collectively fed negative energy are making a greater and more enormous impact on the collective consciousness than we can express, and for this and plenty of other reasons, we encourage you to embrace your mission and the difficult trials that come with it. Know that you're cleansing and transmuting so much negative collective energy that when humanity realizes just how much you and others like you have done, you could be hailed as a hero. It'll be understood that you were also clearing your own karma with many of the things you experienced, and while we empathize with the fact that you're more than ready to be beamed up and healed by the advanced technology your galactic family enjoys, the time for this simply hasn't yet come. You might not require the galactic's assistance. As consciousness rises to the extent that your galactic family is able to exist on your surface directly, you'll either be healed of your ailments by their technology or the rising light energies will take care of them. By the time the galactics are able to lend and openly communicate with humanity, your collective vibration will have become much purer and you might not require their assistance to heal your pains. The irony of this situation is that you'd like to experience the healing the galactic's technology provides, but they can't land and share their technology until the collective vibration becomes much purer, which you're helping bring about with the exhaustion you experience. You're purifying the collective vibration with every bit of pain, tiredness, etc. you experience, and if we could communicate to you that everything truly is okay in a more direct way than we've been able to in this message, we happily would. If we could, we'd come through this screen and give you a wealth of love and support, but you'll have to look for this love and support from your own higher self and guides, who've been waiting for you to connect with them. The higher selves and guides of every earthly seeker have been waiting to connect, but this can especially be said for you because your higher self can help take the edge off of the worst things you experience day in and day out. We'll encourage you and the rest of the conscious community to connect with your higher selves and receive the love, support, and nurturance that result, and we'll make our final expressions for this communication with compassion for the trials you're each experiencing. You're much stronger and more able to create direct inner and outer change than you realize, and while we know the most difficult things you face tend to deplete your enthusiasm or your faith in where you're going, we want for you to see that Spirit is everywhere and in everything. Spirit would never leave you to deal with the most difficult issues you face alone, and in fact, it exists all around you and waits to be picked up on so it can assist you. No matter who you receive advice and guidance from, you're encouraged to make a greater connection and enjoy the resulting love and support. We in the higher realms have much more to offer than many of you realize, and we look forward to the time when the conscious public and the rest of humanity are aware of our existence, and willing to routinely connect with us and receive the energy we happily offer. You're all loved eternally by Source and the company of heaven, and you'll feel this when you can directly connect with us. Continue to explore your deepening connections, because they grow stronger, purer, and realer by the day. Thank you to my higher self and spiritual guides. Channeled through Wes Anak. cultureofawareness.com